Hello, and merry time zone friends. It's Matt here today, bringing you another build for our Banished Sims 4 crossover series. Today, we are going to be building the Town Hall. I'm really excited about this one. It's going to be a super interesting build. We're going to see what kind of packs we can use to make this look as good as we possibly can and replicate it really well. We're really enjoying building for this series, and I hope you enjoy this one as well. So without further ado, grab your cuppers and settle in. I have been really enjoying doing these banished builds, seeing how we can recreate these builds with the tools that we have in The Sims 4. They have so many packs and kits and stuff for the base game now that really we should be able to make a good replica of a lot of these builds, and I've been having a lot of fun trying to recreate them. If you've missed any of our previous builds, we have done a couple of the banished houses and we've also done a herbalist build, but today we are going to be focusing on one of the biggest buildings in Banished, and that is the town hall. Now, if you don't know the function of the town hall in Banished, we'll go over that in just a second, but the reason why I'm building this today is for our Banished crossover series with The Sims 4, because what we're going to be doing is using this as our wedding venue. Now, I know we are going to be building a church down the line, and we could do weddings there as well, but I really like the idea of having a town hall for civic unions and doing smaller scale weddings, which in my mind, some people may prefer over a big wedding. We are, at the time of recording this, in the middle of our story with Kanda and Nick, and in my mind, they're a very simple, easy to please people, not in a bad way, but it's in the sense that they don't need anything huge. They just want to live a simple life, and I feel for them a small wedding would be absolutely perfect. Just family and close friends down at the town hall just to sign their union, and I think this would be really cute. Taking a quick look at the build here, we have like these big wide steps at the front, big open doors here, lots of fancy brickwork, which will be really interesting to see if we can find anything in the game which we'll be able to recreate this with. We have a small little porch section out the front, this big spire up here, and then around the back is just a lot of windows. And I think this would be really cute to kind of get some kind of council meeting room, a space for civic unions, and a space for nomads to come in as and when they do. Because if you don't know the function of the town hall in this game, we get an overview of all of the stats in the entire city, including what year it is, the season, how many homes and families we have, how many are adults and students, etc. And it gives us a very clear overview of everybody that's here. We can also see all of our production. We can see our full inventory. There are graphs here for all sorts of things to do with population and produce and stuff. So lots of things we can see. There's also trade items, which shows us exactly what we've collected so far, what we've been able to trade for and receive. But the tab that I'm also most interested in here is the Nomad tab. When people arrive in your city that are nomads from other places that were not born and raised in this town, they will show up at the town hall and they will request citizenship. And I quite like the idea of keeping this as an open thing for a Sims 4 story. If any nomads show up and they end up becoming intertwined in our story, I would love the idea of being able to create them and have them go down to the town hall, get their basic gear, find out where they need to go, get assigned a job and everything. And I just love the idea of having this build in our Sims game. We'll be able to figure out as we do the build what kind of usable items, utilities and activities we can do within the build to make it a building that we can use for some things. But I really like the idea of us being able to do weddings here, just small scale civic unions, and that is what we're going to be doing today. So we have got screenshots of this build. We've been using the life and death pack quite a lot. The windows and the doors in the build so far have been perfect for this, but I really wanted to change it up a little bit today. We've been doing our wood houses in the life and death wood tones, but now this is a big brick building and I'm really excited to try something a bit different today. So let's get into the game and I will see you on the sim side. We are here on the 30 by 20 lot down in Henford-on-Bagley, which is where I'm basing all of my banished builds at the moment. And this is somewhat opposite the lot where our current story sims, Kanda and Nick, are living. They're living over here next to the bar. But I quite liked this lot for the town hall because it's close to the city centre, and I figured we could use 30 by 20 should be a big enough lot to get this in here. And as I say, it's close enough to the town to be a part of it, but also separated enough on the biggest lot we can get that we can make this detailed enough and it's not going to get absolutely crowded by the shops. So we're going to be building on this lot today and I'm kind of excited for how this is going to turn out. I have no idea how it's going to go, but we are going to start as always by doing our basic floor plan. As we build, we will have pictures up of the screenshots from Banished. You'll be able to see what it is that I'm using as my reference photos. As for me, I'm going to pull it up in the background right now so I can have a look and get the floor plan in. So I'm going to start with a very basic box here. We can adjust the size of this as we go. But I want to start with something very, very basic. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull this up by at least 3, I think, because we want a nice solid foundation on this. We might end up doing it a little bit more than that, but we can judge that afterwards. Now, what I want to do here is cut this first section off about this much, because what we're going to do here is we're going to put our little porch on the front. We're going to have our little wood fence. I'm putting a lot of things in just as a basic right now. This is not going to stay this way, but just so we can get a visual idea of where all of this is going to go. And then we're going to pull this all the way along the front here. And leave this little gap here. What we'll do is we will have a roof over this section over here. And then this is going to be our front, where we'll have our front steps. And we're just going to get a big door. I'm actually going to make this medium high walls, I think. So I want this to be big and imposing. It's a big building and we want it to be nice and airy and very much the center point of the town. So let's see if we have any really good big double doors here for this. So looking at our options, really the best ones we're going to have here is either this big sliding door from the Snowy Escape pack. Almost kind of what I want is the mega doors from the base game. But the big one here is just, it's round at the top and it's also not as wide as I was hoping for. So the other option, if we want to go really fancy and try to replicate the stone that goes around the outside of the door frame, it's going to be something like this. So these are probably going to be my options for right now. I think I'll use the smaller door just so we can kind of make sure that we don't go too big on the build. And if you want to stretch it out, we can. So what I'm going to do from here is actually make this build a little bit smaller on this side. Pull this in right here. And I do want to move the entire build back. Not too far, we can pull it back forward afterwards as well, but just because I want to get some stairs in and I want to make sure that we have enough space for the stairs we want to put in. So these are going to span the entire length of this area. I think what I want to do here is pull this in by 1, pull that in by 1, and then this can come in as well. There we go. And then what we'll do is we'll get our second set of stairs on this side as well, and then copy them onto this side over here. There's going to be something like this, and when I'm looking at the picture in Banished, it has 3 to 4 steps, so this is about right. If we go up by 1 more, that will give us our 4 steps. So this is about as high as we want it, and this is going to give us a good opportunity to get some good foundation in here, which if we have a quick look at that and just kind of find something to even just kind of go just for the moment. Yeah, I think we're just going to want something just basic stone. We'll change the color of this later on. But yeah, just something stony that's going to be like a good solid foundation here. So there we go. That's that section done. And if we have a look at the back of the building here, what we actually have is this really tall like spire piece right in this front corner. So I think let's go with a 4x4. And what we'll do is be able to use this to judge how big the rest of the build is going to be. So I think we'll pull it back a little bit here. What I think I want to do here is pull this all the way back because it does bump out at the back. I'm not sure why the pink outlines are here right now. I can't seem to get rid of them, so I apologize. We're going to have these pink lines while we figure this out. If I turn the grid off, they're still there, but it's making it a little, I guess, easier to see. It's kind of not great, but we'll make do. This might end up even being too big. We might make the spire a little bit smaller, but looking at the picture, I think this back one actually comes out less than this side over here does. And even if it doesn't, I'm making it do that because it's hard to tell from the pictures, but I think it gives the build a little bit more intrigue in the different dimensions and shapes. Yes, I do think I want to make the spire smaller. Looking at it, it's a little too chunky. I think we'll do this. Let's move it over here and let's pull this side in by 1 as well, because looking at where the spire starts, it's kind of in line with the edge of this platform down here, and I think that works out quite well. So let's put a very basic roof on this. Make sure we get the heights correct, because this spire obviously is going to be taller, and we want this roof to be fairly decent, but have enough space for the spire to stick up. So what I actually want to do, this is too much here. Let's make this room smaller, and then we can pull this side in by 1 as well. Move the roof over here, and then let's put this spire really close. And then we can make this smaller by 1 as well if we need to. So I think this is a little bit better. Feels a little bit more balanced to me like this. And the roof that we actually have up on the top of the spire is quite interesting. It's super tall in both directions. So we'll grab this, we'll copy it, we'll turn it this way, and it kind of crosses over itself. We just need to pull the eaves in, I think. Yeah, and I think what we'll do is we'll pull the side eaves in as well. Yeah, kind of like this. And then what we want to do is grab this hipped roof here, put this in the middle of everything. We want to pull this up really, really tall. Let's pull these edge eaves back out, but we'll leave the bottom ones where they are. We might change those eaves again later, but let me just leave that for now. And what we can do now is use this to judge where this front roof can go to. I think any more than that is going to look a little bit silly, so we'll keep that as it is here and then grab it, copy this. And we're going to pop this on this side of the building. And this one only goes so far as the middle. And then we're going to pull this right down because it goes into this roof. And the only other thing we need to do here is grab a floor piece and pull this over this section we have at the front here. And the reason we want this floor piece is because we need to put a roof in here, and this is the only way we're going to be able to make this work. It isn't going to be exact because we can't lower it down. You see it in the picture, it is slightly lower, so we're going to kind of make it work as best as we can, but it's not going to be perfect. I think that's the best we're going to be able to do on this. As I say, we can't get it on the floor below without making the top floor as well, and that's going to be way too tall. So we can kind of do this here and have it kind of poke out the side, which I think is probably going to be the best we can do here. And we'll put some columns in. These are obviously going to change as well. These are not going to stay this way, but what we'll do is we'll put one here. I think technically to get this to fit the way we want it to fit, we might actually have to make this one longer out here, and that's okay. I don't mind doing that. So just pull it out by one here. Pull this one out by one as well, and then the columns fit properly. So let's just adjust the roof. Grab you out to here as well, please. Thank you. And there we go. This is going to be our very basic segment out the front. If we grab our windows again, these are going to change, but we can kind of have a look and see, like, size wise, if we think this is good. I think this is probably where we want to be. These are the windows we've been using elsewhere, so let's just put these in as placement. We can change these later. We probably will change these, but just as a basic idea of where we're going to go here, we're going to have one set of windows at the top. We might have to move objects this because it doesn't want to let me put that one in there, but that's okay. We can fix it in a minute. So we have one on the front here, and we have one window in here. Going around to the side of the building, we have got one higher up here. It's kind of in a bit of an odd spot, actually. It's quite low down on that spire. We have another window higher up right there. One window out the back. Then we have one window up in the roof piece here. Two of them down there. And then on this side, we have one window right in the middle. Looking at this, it's actually too big doing this. We might have to make this a little bit smaller again, but just getting the absolute basics in so we know where everything's going to sort of sit. So this will be roughly it, and we can adjust the size later once we know which windows we're going to use. But this is pretty much our basis here of what we're going to be able to work with today. So I'm happy with this as a base. I think we're going to start from here. Let's start picking out wall patterns and stuff. I want to try and go with some kind of fancy brick. We're going to see what we have. I have a feeling there's going to be a couple of packs like this standing out. I kind of wish I had the castle kit, but I don't have that. But I do have a feeling we've got a wallpaper, which is going to be perfect for what I need. So let me have a scroll through and see what we've got. I have an idea in mind of what I want to look for. I just need to see if we have it. You know what? I did find exactly what I was looking for, and it is actually perfect. Life and Death is coming in clutch once again. There is another version which is in Cottage Living, which is slightly more sort of uneven kind of brick looking, but looking at this build of the Town Hall pictures, it's very much more structured, so the Life and Death squares are looking a little bit better for this. The only other one we have here is the base game one, which does not have brick on the rest of the wall, so Life and Death is really coming through for this Banished save. One thing I need to figure out if I can do is see if I can get this brick pattern on this edge of the wall here, so it carries down all the way in the spire. I'm not sure if I can do that without adjusting the wall here to not go straight down. We might not be able to make that work, but I'll see. If I can make it happen, I'll make it happen. Otherwise, this is going to be how it's going to go. So it goes all the way around here. I do wish it carried down to spire had it here, but we're going to figure it out. Let's get this roof in over here that I forgot. Okay, so the only way that I've been able to get this to work the way that I want it to have the bricks showing here is I've just pulled the spire out on the side here. So it has a little bump out at the front here, but I also pulled this side bit out here. I do need to fix the foundation and pop that back in here because I wanted the line to continue all the way down, and to make that happen I had to put this out by one or in by one, and going in by one just didn't seem right. It just made this area way too small, and I'd rather it be a little bit bigger and just look interesting. I do love how we have all of the corner pieces here now showing, so I don't mind it popping out a little bit more. We still have the stairs coming up on the corner here. And what we might be able to do is we have a little bit of space out the back. If you pull this all the way back, we can have a nice little courtyard area out the front. With the town hall build, it does not come with pathing. You need to have a path up to it for it to be connected, but the cobblestone in the pictures that I'm showing you on screen is actually not part of it, but it's something that I put in myself, and I do quite like it, having a little outdoor piece out the front. So let's grab the entire lot. And let's just move it all the way back. I don't think we're going to put anything out the back except for maybe like some flowers and stuff. So let's try and line it up as best as we can with the front of the lot and make it central. I think that's about as central as we're going to get the stairs anyway to this set of stairs. I want the pathway leading up to be central, even if the door is not. So I think that's going to be good here. And then let's just, this is not going to stay, but let's just say, for example, it's like cobbles and stuff out here. So let's go with a square here, and we're just going to put like this right here. You know, it's going to be some kind of like cobbled path all the way up to the front of the build. It'll be something like that, you know, it'll be able to have this. It's like some kind of courtyard, put some nice decorations out the front, and I think that'll look really nice. I also did move objects to put the windows in at the top of the spire here, so those are all in place, and we can adjust the rest as we go. But speaking of windows, let's have a look at what window options we have. If we have any ones that are slightly fancier, I think I know which ones I'm looking for. In my head, we have something in either maybe cottage living or growing together high school years. I feel like there's some kind of bricked outside window here that we can make work for this build. So let me have a scroll through and see what options we have. There are a lot of really fancy windows in Life and Death, but I don't think it's quite the vibe we're going for. I did find this window from the university pack, and I'm looking to see if there are any other matching ones in a similar style. We have this one here that's got the big curve on it. I don't think we have a particularly big window in this build, but we can have a look and see if there's any we can fit in here. It's going to be mostly this square window, which is the same size as the Life and Death windows, but because it has this outer piece on it, it does make it feel bigger and grander. So I'm going to definitely lock these ones in, and we're going to go around and put those around the edge of the build. I'm just doing one final look in the biggest windows here. Don't see anything else we want, so let's go around and replace all of the windows with these, and then we'll pick the colors afterwards. We have this, which could be quite nice. It's darker on the door, lighter on the outer pieces. And then we have some slightly older looking ones here if you wanted to go for like a worn looking one, which I actually do really like this. But what I want to do is have a look at what colours we have in this brick, because it's more of a kind of greyish colour in the Banished build, but it's still a light grey, so I don't want to go too dark with it. Like this is quite nice. It's a little bit more toned down grey neutral. If we compare the top of the roof with the rest of the wall, you can see what we originally had was slightly more beige, and we're going for more of the grey colour. So I'm happy with this. Let me go and replace the rest, checking all of the roofs, all of the things that need to go here, the upper section there. And the only other thing I want to do here before we move on to the interior and actually start getting stuff in is let's make sure we have the stairs, this fence, and this whole front piece with the porch exactly how we want it. Let's start with the stairs and the flooring, I think. So we can go here with these Life and Death ones if we are sticking to the same vibe, but it actually doesn't match the foundation from that pack, which is kind of interesting to me. It's like a different texture of brick, and it's kind of freaking me out a little. I don't quite understand why it looks so different. The other thing that we could do here, if we don't mind having a little bit of wooden trim, is we can do something like this from the Horse Ranch pack or something, because the only version with stone which does not have a trim at the top is this one right here, and I don't think this is going to match anything else that well. It's not quite the vibe I'm going for, so I don't mind having a bit of a trim on it. I think that's probably the best we're going to get if we're using this one. Let's have a look again at the stairs, see if we can find something that matches, because we don't honestly have that much in the way of like brick or stone steps, which I didn't really notice until I went to use it. I'm really struggling with the stair situation right now. I tried this Art Deco in stone. It's this one down here from the high school pack, I believe that was, and I'm not loving it. I've got to be real with you. I think we might just be best off going with something like this from Life and Death, and just ignoring the fact that it doesn't match the foundation properly. I do think though, looking at this, I think if we're going to go with the life and death stairs, I think let's stick with life and death foundation as well. Then we're using less packs for you guys when you come to download it. Now I just really hope that we have a floor pattern that matches these stairs. I'm going to be so upset if we don't. Please tell me we have a stone. Are you joking? Is this the only one we have? Is the parquet flooring from life and death? No. Oh, so that means we're not going to be able to match our flooring perfectly. I mean, I do quite like the idea of the flagstone. It looks kind of nice here. It is a little bit on the light side, and I kind of like... Fortunately, the darker one is this kind of like reddish tone, which is, to be honest, even worse. Like, this is really nice, but again, it's a little bit too organized, and I want it to look a bit more scattered and cobbled together, like literally like cobbled. If they had like cobbles, that would be great. Like, it's probably either going to be this vampire one or the flagstone. Let's get the roof texture done while I'm looking at it, because I'm looking at the photos for reference and remembering that we haven't changed this yet. So we need to go to... was it the cottage living base one? I think it was this. Or actually, should we go with something a little more put together? Like maybe we go with shingles for this one. We've been using the cottage living thatched roof for all of the houses, but given that this is a build with a little bit more structure, maybe we go with something more like this, which is kind of like more like the shingly kind of type. It's still old looking, rustic looking, but I think this actually might be better off for what we're doing here. Okay, there we go. I think that's pretty much the colors done. All I want to do now, I'm going to do this bit off camera because it's going to take me a while to do it, is I just want to kind of bend these roofs ever so slightly. I'll do one of them on camera together so you can see what I'm looking at. But if you do Shift C, you get these advanced roof controls here. And what I've been doing in the other builds, it's just kind of bending it ever so slightly. So it's not quite fully straight, so it's almost like it's kind of buckled a little bit. So let me go around and do that on some of these. We'll just maybe make this a little bit more, yeah, something a bit more like that. I don't want to do it all the way around all the same. I kind of want to make it look like some bits are sagging a bit more than others, because in the picture, this one on the side here looks a little bit like it's struggling a little more than the other roofs. So let me go around and just do some detailing, and then we'll do the fence, and that'll be time to get inside. There we go, just giving them all a little bit of a tiny angle on them. Some of them bulge out a bit, some of them sink in a little bit, and I think that gives it just a little bit extra character, just not quite all straight lines. Like, this build has been here for a while, and although technically in our story save it hasn't been there, we can pretend that it's been there the whole time. But we're kind of doing the builds as and when we need them, and I am really liking how this is coming along so far. So let's do this front section next, I think. Let's just try with this for right now. And then let's go to fences and see if we can find a good one that matches. Oh, actually, that looks really nice. Just looking at the picture when it has like the lines across the front there, I think we might have found our winner straight off the bat here. And this is also Horse Ranch. So Horse Ranch and Life and Death are the two packs I've definitely found myself using the most here. Yeah, I think this looks really nice. So this window planted in here, and this kind of looks historically out onto the front area there. And I am looking forward to going inside this build and finding out exactly how much space we have, because I'm not entirely set on what I want to put inside here. All I know is I want somewhere to get married, somewhere where it looks like they can have town meetings. So we need a sort of floor plan inside. Let's go down and see how much room we actually have to work with. It's actually, though, really frustrating having these pink lines everywhere, and I don't know how to make it stop, because I'm playing in offline mode as I'm recording right now, because there are so many broken updates that have come out recently and I just don't want them in my game. So I've gone in offline mode, and apparently in doing that it's taken away my option to get rid of the outline, and it's actually kind of really hard to build with this here, but we will have to make do. So let me just get rid of all of the walls, and we can figure out what we want to do after that. I probably will just close this section off again, but let me get some lights in here so we can see what we're doing. We're going to do our subtle saucer that we always love. There we go. So I think what I want to do here, I know I got rid of this wall. I actually want to put this back. I think this here would be a really nice room to have separate, either as a wedding space or as a meeting space. And what we could do here is maybe, let's just go straight down and let's just put another room in here. Let's say this is our wedding space and this is our meeting space. And then in here we can have like a communal area where people go and just hang out and do their things. Whether or not we actually have anything on the spire, I don't know. I wish we had a big bell item, because what I would love to do is just delete all of the floors in between the bottom and the top of the spire, and just have it be like one really tall column with a massive bell at the top, like they would ring the bell. But I think that would be more appropriate if you put that in the church. I don't think that would be suitable for this particular build, but I am curious what to do with that space. As and when we build, I guess we'll figure out what we're going to do with that room. But for right now, let's just get some basic wallpaper in. I think let's just copy the one from outside inside for right now, just so we have something in here. Kind of like the idea of some sort of paneling in here, maybe. Just kind of looking through and seeing what sort of colors we have available with our little wall patterns and stuff in here. Like, can we make something nice and light and bright? Because this is going to be our lovely little wedding area, and we want this to be really pretty. I'm going to stick with this for now. We can possibly change this afterwards, but I do quite like that we've got the paneling and the sort of like the darker kind of color. It is bothering me a little bit that these windows are not the same color. But if we were to match that color, it would be something a bit more like this. And I'm wondering if that's a bit too dark for this room. And then when it comes to floor patterns, I think some lovely, just nice wood would be beautiful in here. And if we are trying to stick with packs that we've already used, we've got this beautiful parquet, which is the only flooring from Life and Death, which I'm a little bit thrown by, to be honest, but it is lovely. And for this to be such a nice room, I think that actually just makes a lot of sense. Maybe what we'll do is we'll keep that in these two rooms. I think those will look really nice together. Whether or not we use the same in here, I'm not sure yet. And as for in here, I think I do like the horse ranch flooring in this room. And it will look really nice, just like with all the other details we get. We're going to get some other wall textures in here as well. I think I would like to keep some of this as brick, but it is annoying me that it has these interior walls on only one corner. So I think we will probably change it to something else in this room. Okay, I'm filtering by Life and Death, University, and Horse Ranch because those are the main packs we're using on the outside for the flooring. We do have the vampires floor. Again, I might consider changing that to limit packs and stuff, but the wallpaper, the doors, the windows and everything, that's these three packs mainly. So I'm seeing if I can find anything I like from these ones. Oh, they do. Okay, perfect. They actually have a version of the outdoor stone in a version which doesn't have the corners. Yes, that's the one. So we can keep the front and the back wall of the stone, which is great. It's kind of what I wanted. It makes the door look a little bit less out of place now. And this is going to be quite a nice like open space. I'll have a nice big door coming into the room here, some seats and some things, just kind of sit down and do just a general little ceremony. This middle room is going to be just for general conversation and meeting and stuff, just to kind of congregate, hang out, be a communal space. We might have some like storage stuff back here, which is going to be the very basics, maybe some kind of like sign-in area for nomads to kind of register themselves with the council and with the city. And this room here is going to be for our meetings for our council. Not that we actually have any of that in Banished, but I just like the idea of like people coming together to have their town meetings and have like the cleric come and the like have like our miners union meetings, you know, like this is where you would come if you needed to discuss anything going on in the city. So let's see if we have a nice big door or archway that we can use. I'm seeing basically all we have is these like open archways like this, or like properly like barn style doors, and that's not really what I'm going for here. Life and Death seems a little bit too much with the skulls on the door, so we're not going to go with that. Something like this would be really nice if it didn't have the skulls on it. I'm having a think here because I do like the idea of this like fancy archway here with like, I know you have some of the versions here which have like the stained glass, which could be really pretty. I'm just wondering if this is like suitable for the build we're going for. You know what? I'm actually not hating this wallpaper right here. This is actually a base game one that I don't think I've ever really used before, because I've just not been a fan of the colors. But I was looking through and I'm like, this is more like you're kind of in your home. The blue didn't fit. The red is obviously way too much, but actually this white with the brown on it is actually really nice. The only thing I might do that I'm kind of tempted to try is that there's a version of this which is darker. So our option here is whether or not we have like a big open archway like this or just the door. And honestly, as much as I like the look of the archway, the big fancy archway, I think actually this is going to be better for us. Because it's slightly less obtrusive and in your face. It is quite bright looking in here with the white, but we'll have to see. Maybe we can change it to like a yellow or something. I'm not loving that it just becomes brick there. I don't mind it at the front so much. You know what? Let me play around with an idea. Let me just try something real fast here. Okay, we might have to change the color of the wood, but I'm thinking maybe if we do something kind of like this and split the room up a little bit, it means we can still have the stone at the front and it's kind of like an entrance and it opens up. I'm just looking at all the other colours to see if there's anything else I like in here. I don't like the blue. Don't like the pink. The red is definitely not right. So it'd either be like this browny kind of colour or this like yellow. And I guess it's a little bit warmer. Like the white is nice, but it's a little bit too stark. So maybe if you change it to this yellow colour, it'll just kind of warm it up a little bit. You know what? I think that's actually really nice. It just brings, as I say, like a little bit of warmth back into the room. It is bothering me that these windows aren't like flush with the panel, but whatever. It'll be fine. We'll like put some plants and stuff around it and some tables. You won't even notice. Ooh, actually, this is like a really, really rich colour. I love this darker one. Oh, hello. I'll fix that in a second, don't worry about that, but I do like that. I think that looks really nice in there. And then the big duck, oh my god, that looks so nice. I'm sorry, but like the really, really rich brown of that with like the blue tones, that is actually gorgeous. And then in this room again, you've got the parquet top and the bottom as well, which we can have a look to adjust if we need to. But let me fix these walls right now. Put that right there, opposite there. This one might be a little bit offset, but that's fine. This way it means it's like symmetrical in the main room. Either that, or we could offset these if you wanted to say like put the council meeting room right like near the front, and then the wedding room door at the back, so they'd come in here and they can get married at the front of it. Maybe that's actually better. That might be better for like how we want to arrange the like the aisle and everything like that. Having this back here might be easier for us. Okay, I think I want to start with this meeting room and kind of see what we can do with this. I think the wedding room is going to be a lot of fun, and this room is not really going to have a lot to it. It's just basically going to be a table with a bunch of chairs and maybe some like bookshelves and some notes and things around the rooms. Let's see, because I did actually change the flagstone at the front so that we don't have to use the vampire's floor. That removes one of the packs that we have used in this. So let me have a look to see if we can do this purely with base game, Discover University, Horse Ranch, and Life and Death. Let's see if we can find something that we like the look of with just these packs. Oh no, this is a tall table, isn't it? So this is for bar stools, not for dining chairs. Oh no, that's annoying. I would love this table without the tablecloth. The tablecloth is giving dining table. The fact that this is not like a food place, this is something for like putting down like schematics and blueprints of the mine plans and stuff like that. You don't want a tablecloth. It's going to make things really awkward. This is starting to give dining room rather than like council meeting room. So I think we'll stick without the blue. I want to change these walls. It's looking very dark in here and I want to bring the color up a bit. Oh, this is cute. I haven't seen this item before. I'm going to put this out here somewhere. Maybe it can go in the wedding room or something, but I really like the look of that. It's really cute. Oh, I know what we can use this back room for. It's just gonna be a janitor's closet, because I saw this and I was like, what would you use this for? But this is gonna be like a tool storage room. Like, this is where you come and you need like the absolute basic supplies. You're gonna have like other businesses and stuff around the place. This is where you can come if you're like in desperate need of emergency tools, like your rake is broken and you're cleaning up a muck, you know. Definitely need some barrels in here. Let's put a couple of those around the place. Okay, so I've gone with something a little bit like this with the two bookshelves here. These are from Discover University. I believe these are unlockable items, but I really like the look of them. I thought they vibed really well in this room. And over here we've just got the low horse ranch thing, and it's looking very brown in this room, so I am going to see if I can liven it up a little bit by looking at the carpets. I'm going to see if there's any, well, I say carpets, rugs, see if there's any good rugs in here that we can put down to like change how this looks. Going back to the blue, you know, I actually don't hate that. I put that down as a joke, but actually that breaks up the brown just enough that it actually works. I'm gonna keep that. Oh, we could put a piano in the wedding room. Ooh, oh, I like the idea of that. I'm gonna put you back there so I remember. I was looking at this and thinking like, do we need to put anywhere for them to go to the bathroom? Am I gonna be able to fit a bathroom in here? I kind of don't want to put one in. There is a public bathroom over there, but I'm also thinking maybe we can put like one of these outhouses like out the back somewhere. Now I do not have my wedding stories, and to be honest, I don't think I'm gonna get it because it's still broken as hell. But if you did have it, you could probably put the aisle down the middle of this room here. So if you wanted to do it officially, you could have that. But this is more a case of like, if you're eloping or you don't want to do like a proper wedding event, like the full wedding stories thing, this is somewhere you could come and just have a wedding arch on like the main lot, so you can just come down and just have your Sims get married without any muss or fuss, really. Just a few chairs there for you to be able to see the wedding, nothing too much. Might just put like a runner carpet or something down here. What about this? If we go more of like the bluey pink, so that the pinks and the purples make a little bit more sense. Okay, so I found what I was looking for, and it's kind of annoying because I thought we had one of these in base game, but apparently we do not. I was looking for the banquet tables, and these ones we have here, one is luxury party stuff, and the other one is, I want to say, a high school years. So we might have to break our rule on using only these packs, because I want at least one of these available, so you have somewhere to have some food, so you can come for the wedding and just eat something while you're here, and you could just stock this up and it'd be fine. The thing is, if we're going like luxury party stuff, do we just go full-blown luxury party? Because this is luxury party, right? If you don't know, if you might not have this pack, but these are what we have. So we have some like fancy chairs, which we can maybe do for the wedding room. We've got like ottomans and stuff, and little like fancy tables. There's a random glowing cube for some reason. A lot of this is not going to work for us because it's going to be like weird lights and glowing things, and that's not really going to work. But if we are going luxury party stuff, we could go down the route of using these chairs instead, and we can maybe make this work. It's not my finest work, but whoops, that's even worse. Yeah, it should be something like that, and then we'd put the table over here. Can we move this over a little bit? And we can have this table in the corner maybe? Can we change the colours of these to anything nicer in the slightest? I do really like these. I don't know why I like this so much. Kind of like a brownie kind of gold. Can we lighten this up? Yes. So let me just like decorate this room up with a bunch of flowers and stuff. This was a distraction because I was looking for activities and skills to put into the meeting room, and I ended up looking for wedding stuff instead, but it's okay. The whole build is going to get done. We will decorate this room or decorate the council boardroom, and then let's figure out what to do with the middle. So I'll see you once all the decoration of these rooms is done. Okay, I think we are done on the interior. I've been putting a lot of details into this and I got kind of carried away, and instead of coming back after doing just a little bit, I did all of the interior and I was having a lot of fun with it. So let's have a quick look at it. Let's take a walk through, shall we? We'll do a proper one of this at the end, but just so you can get an idea of like the vibe I'm going for here. Do you imagine you're either a new person or somebody who's been here before, wanting the comfort of an open, welcoming space so you can kind of meet new people and come and speak to people. We've got this little like chill space in the front. Some of the things that have been made by the local blacksmiths. We've got some cute little things at the front. We will check out that door in just a second, but this is kind of like where you would sign in. So imagine you are a nomad, you're just coming to register yourself as a new citizen. This is where you would come in and like have your logbook of who's coming in and out of the day, and you would have like all your official registration and everything would be here. Like, I'm imagining this is not just a guest book, it's a logbook, it's where you get all of your paperwork from, and this is where you come in and you have this beautiful bright open space. It looks so cozy and comfy, and I've just put some pictures up on the wall, imagining like some of the founders, some of the pictures around of the people who lived here. Got some things like people maybe perhaps that have come here for their weddings and come here for paintings being done of their family, and you've got lots of like crates and things that might have had supplies that are around and about. You've got over here like some storage and stuff that you can come in and kind of give people the basics and just drop some shared resources and stuff, and a nice little cozy place to sit down and just kind of vibe as you like, you know, you come in, you want to say hi to people. More pictures on the wall. We've got some things to like, imagine these are like blueprints and deeds of like the origin of this entire like city essentially. And through this big double door is where we had our council room, and I thought this came out really well. We've got some really interesting things on the wall that I've really never used before. So like, we've got like the coat of arms, which actually never come out of this mode to be easier to see it, I think. So we've got like this like shield, which I thought was really interesting. You can imagine like the blacksmith would have made this for them. You always have a map that you can open in Banished, a little mini map in the corner, and I thought this was a really nice little nod to that, of being able to open the city map. Then we've got like just pictures of like the barns and stuff that people have made, the old photos of parts of the town that were built, some skeleton keys for the original opening of the town hall and stuff. Maybe this is like the original registration of the build, all that kind of thing. And then we've just got like a little notebook here where people are making notes as they take their like town meetings. And of course, it wouldn't be a proper town meeting without not only a timer, but also a good old drink. So I just thought I'll put those there. That would be quite funny. Just imagine like the heads of the town, like the mayor and everyone coming together, and they're just like, let's all have a drink, boys. Like, let's go, set everything off. And then through here, so we have our wedding room. And I think this came out really cute in the end. Got a bunch of like flower pots and stuff here. A few of these have been sized up to kind of have this like really beautiful flower array. We have some like softer lighting down this end of the room as well. I just put candles down here because I thought this would be nice and soft, slightly brighter at this side of the room, where you would need to have the piano, would need like the pianist would need to see what he was doing, and this is where you get your food from. And then we just have a few more things on the walls here, like the tapestry item that I really liked, and then just this little picture here which was really nice of just the field, and a life and death one, which some of the other pictures here, if I can get it at an angle where you're not seeing all these horrible pink lines. All of the other options for this are like death and macabre and crows and ravens and stuff. But then I thought this one looked really nice in here with like, yes, it's thorny, but it's also roses and it's white and it's purpley blue, which kind of fits with the colour theme we have going on in here. And this item is kind of a little bit clunky, but I kind of really just wanted to use it. It's wild, but imagine you could close this off so it makes like a bit of a sound buffer, so if you're having a nice wedding in here, you could just close those curtains, just have a little bit more privacy. And then in here, this final little room in here, this became our janitor's closet. So we just have like a little lamp in here and a light there. We've got some cleaning supplies, some of our things that we need for like the apron and the stuff for mucking out. So just some general tools, and you can put some other things in here if you really wanted to. But one of the interesting things about this room, if you come down to eye level for a second, is if you look up, I decided to knock out all of the ceilings and floors in this. So it goes all the way up. It does look a little bit silly on the inside because of the way that Sims interiors of roofs look, but I like the idea that this was like a spire that might have had something at the top at some point, and they removed it and then they just never built the floors back in. So this janitor's closet goes all the way up, gets some nice natural light in at the top, and it's all just dark and dusty and hay and stuff down here, just gritty looking, you know. And I really thought this came out really, really cozy on the interior. So the only thing we have left to do on this build now really is finishing the outside. It's going to take me a little bit to kind of figure out what I want to have where, whether or not I want to have some ivy and stuff. This is going to look really nice at the end of it, I reckon. So bear with me for 1 second while I get this finished, and I'll meet you at the end of the build. And there we go. I am happy with how this looks now. I think we have everything we need on this lot to make it not only fun and functional to play in, but also to make it look like it fits within the world of Banished. I have gone back over screenshots and I think I've put in as much detailing as I can get into this to make it look good, and I'm really happy with how this has come out. So let's have one last look around the inside. We've already seen most of it, but I want to take you one final tour on the outside as well. So I did try to stick as best as I could, and I will confirm at the end if I've stuck to it exactly, to stick to as few packs as possible. So you will have remembered me saying at the beginning that we used Life and Death, Horse Ranch, University, and Luxury Party stuff as our main packs, and then we also use the base game for a lot of things as well. I will do a check as I go to upload it to the gallery to make sure that it is only those packs, and if there is anything else that I've accidentally included from a different pack, which is like one single item that I can change, I will consider changing that just to make it a few pack build. So if you guys only have a small selection of packs, hopefully you should still be able to get the most out of this build. And I really like how it looks, honestly. The roofing, I'm still not 100% convinced about this roof up here, but the only other thing we can do, if we have a quick look at it here, the only other thing we can do here is pull the eaves back in, which I originally pulled out. So let me just push it back in and see how I feel about it towards the end of the build. Yeah, so this is how it looks from this point on. We have all of our windows around the outside. We move objects the ones into the top, and as you saw from the inside, we can see all the way up this spire from the inside. Perhaps it used to be something else and it's been repurposed, but for now, that room is just a janitor's closet, and over here, the reason I put the outhouse here in the end was because there are no windows on this side on the conference room, and over here is the wedding chapel, and you don't really want to see people pooping outside when you're trying to have a really nice wedding. So it's gone over here with just this like little closed off area, I guess. Like I didn't really put anything in here. I don't think we need a bin on this lot, so I haven't included one, but I could throw one in. It's not going to be too bad. Let's have a look. Do we have one which just feels appropriate for this? Honestly, I think I'm just going to go with this one. It's just a regular old stone thing. Let's put that in there. So if there's going to be a bin anywhere in here, it's going to be tucked around. Let's put it right here next to the pathway, you know, so if we do happen to need a bin on the slot, we have one. I didn't see a reason why we would need one, so I didn't include it, but just, you know, just in case, if you find yourself like accidentally like needing to throw something away, we do have a buffet in the wedding room, so if they ever need to throw that away, then I guess you have somewhere to do that now. So out here is literally just the outhouse bathroom where you can go and just clean yourself up. We just put a few like pine trees and aspens and stuff around the world, things that you see in the screenshots for Banished, but also things that we've used in other parts of the world as well. So just a few little things around here to kind of make it like come alive, and I think this looks really nice. Like the dirty kind of door, you can tell it's been here for a while, and if we go to nighttime, we did put a couple of little lights out the front. So we have the lamp that's already at the bathroom, and then the three at the front. I don't think we really need anything more than that. I think it's honestly fine. I didn't put too much of the weight of any stuff outside. I wasn't like with some of the houses and stuff that I've done, I have put some of the decorations like gnomes and planters and stuff outside, but because this is like a government city building, I didn't want to clutter it with any of that kind of stuff, so I've left it nice and clean. If you decide to download this and put anything else outside, you're absolutely welcome to, but I really do like how this has come out. So one last look at the inside. We've already seen this, so I won't spend too long on it, but we have this lovely interior, like the exterior wall carrying through here with the brick. We have the janitor's closet in this room with all the cleaning supplies and everything, with a really tall roof that we were talking about. Just our like extra cleaning supplies and things that are provided by the council, by the town. And then back in here we have our sign-in registration book, which you can be using for registering marriages and births and nomads coming in to get new citizenship, logging in and out for council meetings, you know, like you can imagine this is like all kinds of logs in here. And then over here we just got our like storage kind of section. I wanted to keep this really open so it's nice and easy to flow through, but back here we've got a lot of stuff like barrels and crates and stuff which have just kind of been left in here to be used as surfaces. Maybe these are full of stuff. You can use this storage box as well, so if you want to use this as like a mini storage unit, like if you're building a Banished world like I am and you want to use the storage unit, you have that really big area. But if you only have the town hall, then you still have somewhere you can put some essentials for like nomads coming in. They could come in and get new coats, for example. You can come in and get your basic tools to set you up on your journey in this world. Through here again, as you've seen, we have this wedding area, which I thought came out really cute. It's nothing major, it's just if you want to do a big wedding, you could go to the church, or you can come here and just do a nice quiet wedding with just a handful of you. Some beautiful flowers, this really soft kind of room with just a nice gentle kind of feeling. You've got space for your pianist, and then you've got some like flowers over here with a buffet table, and then back through this way, as we've seen, is the council room. This is where meetings are held, drinks are had, and this is just like just a government kind of room. This is where you go if you're like signing papers. You imagine you go in, you signed in, this is where you come down to get all your registration done and everything. This is all the records and logs of all of the Banished stuff. As we were saying right at the very beginning, one of the things you can do with the town hall in Banished is look at all of your information. You can do like graphs of your production and your population, and it's basically the place to go if you want stats about your game and about your city. And this to me made a lot of sense, that in here this is all the records, you know, so everything that's ever been recorded about the city is here in this town hall council room, and I love the vibe of this place. I think it came out really nicely. Let me know what you guys think. I would love to see if ever you guys are using this in your game. I would love to see like how you're using it, and I would love to hear your feedback on how we could maybe improve it, or other things that you would like to see me build. I am going to be using this in my Let's Play. If you haven't been watching that, there will be a link to that in the description down below, where we're playing with Kanda and Nick, doing the herbalism business. We just had an episode of that come out last week, so if you want to catch up on the series, you can check the playlist with all of the other build videos and Let's Plays. But we're going to be using this next time to get Kanda and Nick married, and anytime a nomad comes into the Let's Play and we want to introduce them to the series that way, we can have them come here and we can do like a little mini situation of seeing them come in and get themselves registered and become part of the town. And I think that's going to be a really cute idea. For now, thank you so much for being here and watching. I really appreciate you hanging out with me throughout the series and for seeing these builds. I am going to be uploading this to the gallery under the hashtag Banished build. If you want to see all of my other builds, you can go to MaddMilliner on the gallery, or look up the hashtag Banished build or Banished house. Everything I build for the Banished series will be under those hashtags, so please feel free to go and download it if you like it. Now though friends, thank you so much for watching. Please leave your comments, suggestions and feedback down below, and remember, it's always tea time somewhere in the world. Bye bye.